So this video is going to be a flexibility and mobility flow. I'm going to take you through some stretches and we'll hold them for a good minute each. And hopefully by the end of it you will feel a little bit freer in your movement and a bit more relaxed. So we're going to start in a nice comfortable seated position, whatever that is for you. And we're going to do some shoulder raises. So on the inhale, we're going to raise our shoulders to our ears. Pause at the top and then drop the shoulders down on the exhale. So inhale, raise the shoulders, exhale, down, inhale, exhale. We'll do 2 more of these. Inhale, exhale, last one. Inhale and exhale. Well done. First stretch that we're going to go into is a pigeon pose, and the easiest way to get into this is to go onto all fours. So hands under your shoulders and knees under your hips, and then we're going to bring our right knee up towards our hands and shimmy our left leg back. So your right leg will be in a variety of positions depending on your flexibility. You can have it right the way forward so that the lower leg is parallel to the front of your mat. That's not for me. A little bit back like mine, or indeed it can be right down so that your foot is close to your leg. The idea is that you want your right glute to be on the mat, and you should feel the stretch right the way down into your right glute and hip flexor. We start off the stretch up here, and indeed you might stay up here if that's what feels right or good for you. And as the stretch increases, you might end up down at your forearms, or even down with your forehead on the floor. So I'm going to put the timer on and we're going to hold this stretch for 1 minute. It's a good idea to take this opportunity whilst you're in the stretch to breathe really effectively, so breathing deeply with a long inhale, and if you can, extend your exhale so it's just longer than the inhale. Okay, and we'll gently push up on our hands to come out of that stretch. Just transfer our right leg back into all fours position, and then we'll change to the left leg. So we'll bring our left knee up towards in between our hands, slide our right leg back, put our glute down on the floor, make any adjustments that you need to feel the stretch, and then again we will hold this in whichever position is good for you for a minute. And then we'll push up from our hands. Some of you might already be here. And then we can swing our right leg round to come to sit on the mat. So now we're going to go into a camel pose. A camel pose will stretch your feet, your quads, a little bit of hip flexor, and you'll also get a bit of a back bend in it too. It's quite an intense stretch, so feel free to come out of it if it feels too much and then go back into it again. So for the camel pose, we're going to come forward onto our knees. Make sure there's lots of padding under your knees. I've got several mats here. And we're going to tuck our feet under. You're going to see that from the video. And then we'll sit back just gently just now. Now if you're not quite flexible enough to do this move the way that I demonstrated, you might want a chair or a raised surface behind you, and you can put your hands on the raised surface rather than we're going to put our hands on our heels. And then to get into the camel stretch, we're going to lift our hip flexors up to point towards the ceiling. And as you can see, just going to turn around here, there's a nice back bend in there as well. I'm going to hold this stretch again for a minute. Again, if it feels too intense, just come down out of the stretch, take a breather, and then go back in. You can rest in child's pose. And remember to keep breathing. This one's particularly intense for me today. I did do a run this morning, so feeling quite tight. And if it's available to you, you can always take your head back and open up your chest even more. So lots of stages of this movement, and just take it as it comes to you, and then we'll come out very gently down and then rest our feet, have a little break. So in a similar vein, we've stretched our feet a little bit in that camel stretch. We're going to do an actual foot stretch here. So again, we tuck our feet under, but this time we're going to rest our weight on the feet rather than lifting up as we did in the camel. And this is such a lovely stretch for the feet. It's not something that we concentrate on very often. Again, it can feel quite intense, so feel free to come out of it if it's too much and go back into it. Try to make sure that all your toes are curled under. Each toe is touching the ground. And again, practicing your deep breathing. A few more seconds here. And we'll come out of that one. Now we're going to do an ankle stretch. This one should feel really nice. We're going to sit back on our heels and lift our knees from the floor. Now for balance, you can have your hands either side on the ground or placed on your thighs, whatever works for you. And also, everyone's different, so that might be where you get to, or that might be where you get to. It's completely relying on your flexibility, your mobility, and also your physiology. Everyone's built different. with stretching, you do what feels good. So we're going to hold this one for a minute. Sitting back on your heels and lifting your knees up. Oh, that's a good one. Again, I'm trying to extend my exhale so that it's longer than my inhale. Just a few more seconds. And we'll come out of that one. So just lower your knees gently onto the floor. Next stretch is a V-set stretch. So we're going to get our hamstrings stretched here, notoriously tight. So what we're going to do is take our right leg out at an angle and bring our left foot in towards our thigh. I'm going to keep this foot active during the stretch, so have it flexed with your toes coming towards you. For this one, you might want to use a towel or a band, a strap, anything that you've got to give you the range of motion that you want, so to reach over and to hold on to give you the stretch. If you have the mobility, then feel free to either come down to your calf or to hold your foot. Either works. So as we start the stretch, excuse me, I'm just going to get our timer. We start the stretch by sitting tall, and then we take our chest over towards our knee. So again, everyone will look completely different in this stretch. There'll be some that get right down to the knee. There'll be some that are, this is as far as they can go. It's absolutely fine. You go as far as your hamstring can take you. If you, as the stretch progresses, you may find that you can move more into it as the time moves on. So we sit up tall, and then we take our chest forward towards our knee and relax into the stretch. Once you've taken your chest forward, let your head just drop and bow and relax. Try to keep your shoulders relaxed too. Don't feel any tension in the upper body. Now we'll just come out of that one. And the good news is we get to do it on the other side. So this time we take our left leg out. I'll just swing it along so you can see. Left leg out wide. Bring our right foot in towards our left thigh. And we're going to sit up tall. And extend through the spine, and then we're going to lean forward, taking our chest towards our knee. If you're using a strap, you would hold the strap in both hands, wherever is appropriate, and use the strap to allow yourself to come forward. I'll set the timer for a minute again. And the movement forward. your right hip heavy, so allow the right knee to just drop out and feel heavy, and keep the upper body nice and relaxed. Left foot is flexed so that the toes are coming back towards you. Leaning further into the stretch the longer we hold it for. And we'll come out of that one. Great work. I really needed that today. Now we have an adductor stretch. So I'm going to start this stretch by kneeling. I'm going to lift up and then take our right leg out to the side, and we're placing our right foot facing forward, flat on the ground. And then we're going to hinge backwards and bring our hands to the ground. So in this stretch there again are several variations, so this might be where your stretch is at. As you move further into the stretch, or if you're just that bit more flexible, this might be where your stretch is at. Or we can also have the variation of we sit back on our heel and this is where your stretch is at. So it's entirely up to you which one works best for you. You can start in one and progress through and move into each different one as the time moves forward. So again, we'll hold this for a minute. So you keep the left foot pressing into the ground, pushing away from the ground. Your right foot is flat on the floor. And if you're in this position that I'm in, where your arms are straight, your hands are underneath your shoulders. Coming down onto the forearms, your elbows go where your hands were. Or indeed you sit back on your heels and your arms stretch out in front of you, with your forehead reaching the ground. We'll come up carefully out of that one and back into kneeling position in the middle, and then we'll extend out and do this on the left leg. So we'll go into all fours and take our left leg out wide. You can see there, with my foot flat on the floor and pushing forward. Our right foot is flat on the floor and pushing up against the floor. And we're in this tabletop position to start with. We'll hold for a minute. For those of you in your forearms underneath where the hands were, or sitting back on your heels, forehead to the ground, arms stretched out in front of you. And wherever you are, we'll just use our arms and push ourselves back up to gently come out of that stretch and bring our left leg back in to join the right leg. We're now going to go into a low lunge to stretch our hip flexors. So with a low lunge, I'll do it on an angle so you can see. We'll start on our knees and we'll take our left leg forward, and until it's at a right angles, and our right leg's going to be at right angles too, with the knee on the floor. In fact, I'm going to do this round this way so you can see. Okay. And then we are going to tuck the pelvis under. So I hope you can see the difference in that movement. So here I'm straight and upright, and then I'm going to tuck my pelvis under, which allows the stretch to increase up through my right hip flexor and down into my right quad. And we're going to hold this for a minute, surprisingly enough. Off we go. So you should have a really strong stretch through the top of your thigh and into your hip flexor. You want to, when you tuck your pelvis, you want to be pointing your hip flexors forward. Imagine they're headlights and you're shining them forward. That's where you want to be, and it's that will increase this stretch. And today I require all my deep breathing to get through this one. Just a few seconds left. Keeping the pelvis tucked under. And we'll come out of this one. And joy of joys, we shall do it on the other side. So this time we're going to take our don't know my right from my left, my right leg forward into a right angle, and our left leg is going to be on a right angle on the floor. I'll just adjust our timer. Okay, and then we're going to again tilt the pelvis forwards to increase that stretch and point that imaginary headlamp forward and up. And we'll hold for a minute. You can push the left foot, which is lying flat on the floor, push it into the ground and push away from the ground to add a little bit of more resistance and tension, if that's what you're looking for today. Halfway there. If you feel it's too intense, just relax out of it, reverse the pelvic tilt, and then go back into it. And relax. Ooh, that was hard work for me today. Now we're going to do a twist. So we're going to sit with both our legs forward, facing forward, out in front of us, with our feet flexed. Bring our left leg in towards our body and bend it, and then we're going to twist around to the left. Now, it might be enough for you to hold like this and twist round here. Another variation would be to hook your right arm around your left knee, and taking your chest round. The twist should come really from below the chest, and taking your left hand behind you and into that twist. Or, if you want to intensify the stretch more, you can take your right elbow to the outside of your left knee and push your elbow against your knee and your knee against your elbow, so that you're creating that resistance again. So again, 3 options here: just holding and twisting, hooking your arm round and twisting, or placing your elbow round the outside of the knee. And surprise, surprise, we'll hold for a minute. Sit up tall and then go into your twist. And again, what you might find is that the longer you're in the stretch, the more you can twist. trying to make any increases of your twist to happen on an exhale. And we'll come out of that one. Held that for slightly too long, I was enjoying it too much. And this time we'll extend our left leg long, flex our left foot, bring our right leg in bent so our foot's next to our left knee. And then we're going to sit up tall and then take our twist round to the right. So our right hand goes behind us and we take whichever variation of the twist is right for us. Now on this side, I can tell right away that this is more difficult for me than it was on the other side. So just be wary of that with stretches. Usually, or quite often, stretch is different on each side of your body, so do what's right for each side. And we'll hold this for a minute. Keeping your deep breathing going. Breathing right into the chest. And a nice long, slow exhale. A few more seconds here. And relax. And our final stretch is going to be child's pose. So again, variations of child's pose available. We can be on our knees, feet together, take our bottom back to our heels, and then extend our hands forward and take our forehead to the ground. Or we can have knees wide, toes touching. Again, take our bottom back to our heels, and we can have our hands forward with our forehead in the mat or towards the mat, or you can have your hands back like this. Whatever works for you. And we're going to hold this for a minute. Don't extend your hands too far and forward so that your shoulders are working. At this point in the relaxation, we want to be letting our shoulders rest. So pull your hands back to release the tension in your shoulders. And just gently push up through your hands and back to a nice seated position. And there we have it. Nice gentle flexibility, mobility, flow, for you to do post exercise, stand alone, whatever. I hope you enjoy it.